In what could be pretty bad news for former President Donald Trump's legal case involving the 11,000 documents that were seized from Mar-A-Lago in August, not even a month after paying $3 million to retain lawyer Kise, the Trump legal team has apparently moved him off the case. Interesting. According to a report, Kise is expected to remain on Trump's legal team, but is not leading the work related to the federal government's investigation into how the former president handled 11,000 documents seized from his Florida home following a lengthy effort by the government to retrieve them. Remember, they asked him over and over again, over months, hey, we know you have the documents, just please send them back. They don't actually belong to you. And so, we know you have them. Please make arrangements so you can send them back. And they didn't. They were incredibly obstinate about it. And then, of course, some of the lawyers had apparently signed off on documents saying that, yeah, we had returned everything that we knew we had. So that was a lie. And either the lawyers knew that it was a lie or Trump had lied to the lawyers. But anyway, the reason for the shift remains unclear. And he may instead focus his efforts on other investigations Trump is facing. We all know that there are plenty, which range from business practices to the January 6th insurrection. The move is notable, according to the article, given Kise, the former Solicitor General for Florida, was brought onto the team after a weeks-long search and struggle to find someone willing to take on the case who was also experienced in Florida law. Now, again, Mar-A-Lago is in Florida, and so that's where the raid happened. And yet, the guy who's experienced in Florida law, which I would assume they would try to use to their benefit, is not working on the case. That's weird. That's very strange. The legal strategy for fighting the Justice Department following the August seizure of over 100 documents marked as classified, apparently, according to the report, is also in disarray. Kise's hiring came with the unusual price tag of $3 million, paid for, of course, by Trump's outside spending arm. The retainer fee paid up front raised eyebrows among other lawyers on Trump's team, given the former president has developed a reputation for not paying his legal fees. Trump's spokesperson, Taylor Budowich, said Kise's role as an important member of President Trump's legal team remains unchanged. And any suggestion otherwise is untrue. Fake news. So, look, this could be relevant. This shakeup could be important. It again could be relevant to whatever defense Trump is trying to put up against this investigation by the DOJ. But it's also not surprising, given how Trump operates. I don't think it matters to him how much, who it is and how much experience they have. They don't do exactly what he asked for, what the orange baby tells him, then they're not going to represent him anymore. They're going to get kicked off the case. And he has all the rights to do that, of course. My guess here, and again, I don't have evidence of it. I'm just speculating. But I think that he was either asked to do something illegal or to put his own reputation or license on the line by lying under oath to the courts. So, I mean, again, that's just my read of this, knowing how he has in previous reports. Try to ask his lawyers to do the same thing. And so neither of those things is something that anybody should be willing to do for a client, much less Trump. Again, going to Michael Cohen, you remember how he treated him, right? In that hush money payment case, Cohen went to prison while his co-conspirator had become president of the United States. I'm just going to say it. If you're willing to lie for Donald Trump, you're either an idiot or maybe Trump has some serious dirt on you, which, again, wouldn't surprise me as well. That said, Kise is not gone. He did get paid, unlike, of course, Trump's other lawyers. And that's because someone other than Trump is out there paying his legal bills. Like his donors or the Republican National Committee. Now, the RNC does not have a history of stiffing everyone under the sun. So that's probably why he took the money. Now, the report also notes that Kise doesn't appear to be deeply involved in Trump's other most serious criminal investigative risk, the Justice Department's January 6th investigation. Kise was also not present in a D.C. federal courthouse last week, alongside the 3 other Trump attorneys who were arguing for confidentiality around Trump's conversations at the end of his presidency. They're also attempting to block a federal grand jury from gathering information from an expanding circle of close Trump aides about his efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Of course, that involves the fake elector scheme that they had come up with, which again, basically would have unelected people who are pro-Trump take over as the official electors, even though they're not the official electors, and would go against the will of the people and vote for Trump anyway in the Electoral College. That was a thing that actually happened. And those, fake electors were going to, if Mike Pence had actually done what Trump wanted him to do, which is to not certify the electoral results, they were going to take advantage of that chaos and say, no, we're going to vote for Trump. Because there's so many questions around the election. So many questions, voter fraud, etc. You're not the real electors. We're the real electors. And we're just going to come in and we're going to vote for Trump because we think that he won. Which in reality didn't. Investigation after investigation, over 60 court cases, of which the Trump team didn't even try to prove voter fraud. They couldn't even bring it to court. Why? Because any lawyer is not going to put their reputation in the line. They're not going to lie under oath because they will get in trouble for doing so, for committing perjury. So they didn't even bring up that case in any of the court cases. And I think that's very, very telling. That said, getting back to Kise, he left his large law firm that he had been with for over more than a decade, Foley & Lardner, to take the job as a solo practitioner, likely because no one else at that law firm wanted to take the case as well. He previously worked for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' transition team and has won 4 cases before the Supreme Court. So again, he is considered to be a fairly good, effective lawyer, which is why that $3 million price tag they felt was warranted. And so, look, they already paid him, which is why he's not going to go away, which is why he'll probably take another role. But he's going to take a role where he doesn't have to put himself into legal jeopardy. And so I think that's really kind of the sweet spot. Yeah, you're getting paid by the RNC, you're getting paid by Republicans or Trump's donors, because Trump never pays any of his bills because he's a loser. This guy's like, okay, I'm getting paid and I'm not going to lie. So I don't know, just put me to work. I don't know. I'll staple documents. I don't care. Just, let me do something and I'll just collect the money. In reality, it's actually kind of smart. It's a smart play on his behalf. And so I got to give him credit for that. Because look, as a lawyer, it's got to be pretty awful to represent Trump, who, again, goes out and consistently contradicts you, destroys his own case, puts himself into legal jeopardy, and tries to put his lawyers in legal jeopardy as well. And it's, by the way, why he goes through lawyers more often than Dennis Prager and Newt Gingrich go through wives. They're just burning right through them. It's going to be nobody left. Except, I don't know, like people like Rudy Giuliani, who's already ruined, and his absolute clown shoes. Rudy Giuliani has to hire his own lawyers because he's in his own, bunch of trouble. All of that, gone through by these, clown shoe lawyers to most likely get stiffed. Unless, again, you're this guy and we're smart enough to ask for the money up front. This is why just about every single lawyer who wants to remain credible has already run away from Trump, despite the fact that traditionally defending a former president would be an amazing career boost. So, that's really got to tell you something about how these legal efforts are going.